Welcome to Know and Awaken Your Soul's Unlimited Potential. My name is Eva and I'm so happy to have you here with me. And today I'm going to be sharing a very interesting experience I had recently. And I'm actually starting to realize that there are so many life lessons that can be learned in our day-to-day activities if we have awareness to recognize them in that moment. So I'm going to share this story, right? How many of you have ever had this experience where your parents warn you against something, warn you against doing something repeatedly? And if you're like me, which is the story I want to share with you, most of us will hear the warning, but it kind of like it doesn't register. Okay, it's kind of like it goes in through one ear and goes out through the next. That's the same we normally do in my country, right? Like we don't actually register the warning because we're like, in my head, I'm gonna be talking about myself. Like in your head, you're like, I'm not stupid enough to make that mistake, right? So why do I need to hear that? Like you don't need to keep on repeating this warning to me over and over again. So for me, my particular warning was a statement that I've had from my mom repeatedly. Don't put any plastic container on top of like the the cooker, whatever you use, the oven or whatever you use for cooking. Like don't ever put any plastic container on top of that cooker because it might actually get burned and burn the house. Okay, so I've had that warning so many times, so many years, over and over again, but it's never registered because in my mind I used to think like, I can of course put a plastic container in a cooker if it's not on. Like I'm smart enough to know like when I switch on or turn on the cooker, I'm gonna remove the plastic container and put it elsewhere. I'm not stupid enough like to light a fire under that plastic container. That's honestly what I've been thinking all through every time that my mom mentioned that particular warning to me. So this particular, which was just like last week, I decided to go and make myself something in the kitchen. Okay, so I light up my fire, I leave something boiling, I go to do my things, and next to where I had actually placed my cooking food, I there was actually a plastic container with some dishes that were placed on. Okay, and in my mind it hadn't registered that you need to remove this plastic container because I was like, it's I thought it wasn't near the fire that I had lit. Okay, so I just left the plastic container there thinking like I'm just gonna come and remove that plastic container later when I'm ready. So I go do my things, come back 15 minutes later only to find my precious plastic container has completely melted on one side. And I'm talking about literally like at the biggest hole you can ever imagine on the side of my plastic container. So basically, I can never use that thing again. I had to actually throw it away. And it's something I've held on for so many years. So that was kind of like painful. Like, I didn't want to let go, but I had to let go, right? Because like a huge hole was at the side of it. But then I realized the lesson or the warning that my mom has kept on repeating to me over and over again: never place a plastic container in on top of a cooker. Because this time I actually did. I forgot to remove it because in my head I didn't think that was anything weird with leaving the plastic container on because I've been doing it for years. Because in my head I kept on telling myself I'm smart enough to know to remove the container whenever I've lit a fire. So this time when I was actually lighting a fire next to the container, it hadn't registered to me that this is not normal, remove the plastic container. And I had to learn the hard way why my mom kept on repeating that warning to me over and over again. And that was a beautiful life lesson because it helped me realize like how many people are actually existing like that in currently, right? That there's so many teachings available, there's so much knowledge available on the internet, in books, regarding how we're supposed to live our life, regarding how we're supposed to let go, forgive, create more of what you want, visualization, meditation, and all. Like there's so much information available to us, information that we haven't heard in so many ages. I mean, think about it. In the 1950s, the internet wasn't, I don't even know if the internet was invented in the 1950s. I'm actually going to research that. But anyway, think about it. Like decades ago, we didn't even have the internet, right? And right now, we have that. Like information is available to us at the drop of a hat. But most people, because the information is there, it's like, I'm not gonna pay attention to it. It's always gonna be there, so I'm gonna pay attention to it when I feel like it. But for most people, when they feel like it, it's only when they're in pain, and I'm talking about serious pain. Okay, so here's a statement I always say, that when it comes to certain painful experiences that we've had in our life, chances are we were given so many warnings before that particular painful lesson, before we actually hit rock bottom. But because we were not listening, we were not paying attention to the warnings, the painful experience had to happen. We had to hit rock bottom for us to now to wake up and now start paying attention. Because for most people, when they hit rock bottom, it's kind of like a deep aha moment they have, like, wow, I really need to change some things in my life. But it doesn't have to get to that point if you actually start listening. In my own experience, I know I had so many warnings and so many teachings that were available to me way before I hit my rock bottom, like 2 years ago. That's 2019. Way before I hit that, there was so many warnings before, but I wasn't paying attention because I was busy living my life. It wasn't important for me. It wasn't until, like, literally so many areas of my life hit the, like, seriously, I was in rock bottom. I'm talking about health wise, relationship wise, financially, career wise, and all that. Like, everything was just messed up. And that's the only point I actually sat down and decided I need to do better for myself. So if you're watching this, take this as a video or a sign that something needs to change in your life. Start paying attention. What do you need to start doing differently going forward? What do you need to start tapping into? What do you need to start learning? Who do you need to start learning from? Okay, what information do you need to gather in order to help you create a different experience than what you currently have right now? If it's relationship, you want better love in relationships, who can you actually tap into to teach you to do that? If it's financially, you're struggling financially, go to YouTube. These things you don't even have to pay. That's how I got started. I started on YouTube, and the more and more videos I watched on YouTube, the more and more this information got available to me, and I started attracting the right people and the right teachers for what I actually needed at that moment. And that can also happen for you if you actually start seeking the knowledge for yourself. So don't wait until shit hit the fan. Don't wait until something bad happens for you to now start learning new lessons. I think that's the worst way possible to experience your life. Okay, so take this as a sign that something does need to change, and if you want help with that, do connect with me. I am an Akashic Records expert. I do help people through soul realignment work to align to who they are at soul level, to create a better experience for themselves, to manifest a better health, better relationship, better money for themselves by severing the connection to negative karmic, the patterns that they've created over and over again through their choices. So if you want help with that, if you feel like you've been attracting the same people, the same situations over and over and over again, and you just don't understand why, if you're feeling like certain areas of your life are suffering and you want to understand why and what you can do differently to create more of what you want, do check out what soul realignment work can actually do for you. I always leave my links down below in the description box, and I hope to see you on the other side. Really sending you so much love, and if not, seriously, start doing things differently. I will repeat this again and again. Do not wait to learn your lessons in a very painful way. It doesn't have to be. Okay, that's my message for you, and I'm always sending you so much love, sending you so many virtual hugs wherever you're watching from. Again, if you're new to my channel and you do like the kind of content I do share out here, do connect with me, subscribe to my channel, and also click on the notification bell so that you might be getting alerts for each and every time I share out a post. Bye for now, and I do hope to see you on the next video.